Yamamoto Nutrition, proud sponsor of RX Muscle. Visit YamamotoNutrition.com.
Welcome back to Live With, brought to you by Yamamoto Nutrition. I'm Dave Palumbo, and today we're here with IFBB pro Juan Marquez making a comeback at 55 years of age. Welcome to the show.
What's up, buddy?
You know, you're one of the, what we call enigmas of the sport of bodybuilding. There's a couple of them throughout the years. Steve Mahalik was one of them. Arnold called him the Shadow because he was, or I should say he called him the, what do you call him actually? He wasn't the Shadow. Dorian was the Shadow. But he was also another guy who always would pop up and then he would disappear and pop up and disappear. You won the NPC Nationals at lightweight back in, I believe it was 1988.
That's right.
I don't even think most of the people who watch the show probably weren't even born in 1988. I graduated high school in 86.
You know what people don't realize? I also won the World Championships that year.
You did, because back then you had to win the World Championships to get your pro card. It wasn't good enough just to win the Nationals, right?
That's right. That's when you had to earn the card, right?
Yeah. Nowadays they hand them out like Tic Tacs.
Now they just give them away. That's right.
Now, you know, a lot of people got to remember, back in 1988, there were no weight divisions. There was one open division. So when you turned pro, by winning your weight class, the lightweight class, at 150 pounds, you had to then go and compete against guys like Lee Haney, you know. So most people would just write you guys off. You know, the bantamweights, the lightweight guys, you never heard from them usually again. That wasn't the case for you, but you did take some time off. Talk to me a little bit about what it was like back in '88, winning your pro card. How long had you been training, and, you know, what got you to do the Nationals that year?
Wow, I've been training 46 years, I believe, since I was like 9 years old. Something like that, you know. And what got me into it was looking at the old magazines, the Arnold magazines, Franco Colombo, Frank Zane, you know, all the legends of the sport. That's what got me into it.
When did you start competing?
I believe my first show I was 13. I won the teenage. I won the novice, and I took third in men's open.
How much did you weigh?
I have something here.
What'd you weigh?
Oh, wow. I don't even remember. That was such a long time ago.
You were probably in the 130s back then.
I was only 13 years old.
Yeah, you were probably 120 pounds. How tall were you then, and how tall were you when you, now, I should say? Are you 5'2"?
I'm 5'3" right now. I was probably more back then, like 5 foot.
Wow, unbelievable. So you start competing, obviously. At some point you say to yourself, hey, I'm pretty good at this. I have some talent here. I'm going to do the Nationals. Was the '88 Nationals your first national show?
Yes, sir.
So you step in, no one knows who you are pretty much, and you win.
Yeah.
What were you? Right. Did you realize the ramifications of how? Because back then, if you turned pro, everyone knew who you were. It wasn't like it is today where there's 6,000 pros. If you won the Nationals, it didn't matter what weight class, people recognized you and knew who you were because you were in the magazines. They made a big deal about you. It was a big, impressive thing at the time.
Mm-hmm. If you remember, I made a jacket saying national champion. And I also duplicated that at the World Championships. I had jackets made. So I had a jacket made national champion and a jacket made world champion before I even won the titles.
And you were wearing it at the shows?
Yeah, I put them on right after I
won. People must have been going crazy. Now, where did you actually do the World Championships? What country?
Australia.
Oh, so that had to be super cool. You know, you're a young guy. How old were you at that point?
Early 20s.
Yeah, I mean, flying to Australia with Team USA. Who else was on that team that year?
Renel Javier.
Oh, yes, light heavyweight.
Yes, sir. He won his class. And I just don't remember the other guys' names because they never kept up with it.
Yeah.
Remember, you had to pass a drug test also.
Right.
So a lot of guys that went to the World Championships, I was the only one that won the weight class. All the other guys were guys that placed, and they just went down the list until they found someone that they can pass a drug test.
Yeah, well, that's what happened with Ronnie Coleman in '91. He was fifth in the heavyweight class, and he was the only one who could pass the drug test. So he went to the Worlds.
Yeah, I
and he
remember
was
that.
winning. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So you turn pro, you win the World Championships, you're on top of the world, but pretty much, most people are probably saying, well, you had a great career, but it's over now because now you got to go into the pros. But you didn't feel that way. You knew you had a lot more in you, and which is amazing when you think about it, because at 5'3", 150 pounds, knowing you're going to be going up against mass monsters, how do you start to regroup yourself and then start, getting ready for the pros?
It wasn't that difficult for me because when I came down to the to 150, I was weighing about 200 pounds.
Really?
And my guys at the gym said, your best chance of getting a pro card is going to be coming down to lightweight. Remember, I'd done 13 shows that year at middleweight and won them all. That was my 14th show. And I had got down to lightweight just for that. That was my first time ever competing as a lightweight.
Unbelievable.
And I did it just for the nationals.
I didn't realize that. Oh, so you
Yes,
you
sir.
were a legitimate middleweight pretty much at that point.
Yes, sir. Uh-huh.
Johnny's putting some footage up right now of you. When is this, Johnny, from? You don't know. I think this is more recent, actually, to be honest with you. Now, you did the Olympia, believe it or not, in '89. Was that because they gave you an automatic invite for winning the Worlds?
Yes.
How
won
was
the
that?
Worlds. I wasn't even ready for that. And they just wanted back then. Manny just told me, "I want you to be there because you're the guy that won." I was on all the videos.
Right.
I was getting all the attention. They just wanted me there because fans wanted me there.
Right. What did Jim Mannion think of your physique back then? What kind of? Because I know he's very critical. If you get a compliment from him, you know you're good.
Yeah, me and Mannion were always. He's been judging me since I was a little kid. Me and Mannion have always been tight.
Right.
He's always said good things about me, and I say good things about him.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been loyal to the IFBB pretty much because of him. Because during the years of seeing him move up and move up and move up during the rankings, now I believe he's the president of the IFBB.
Yeah,
I believe he is. I'm not sure.
Yes, he is.
But I have a pretty close relationship with him.
Now we're watching some footage of you when you were younger here, hitting the vacuum pose. I mean, no one hits a vacuum pose anymore. I mean, your arms look huge. You had that. That was back when we had the mullets. You had the mullet going, hairdo. This is. I think this is at the Olympia, Johnny. 88 Nationals. This is when you turn pro. We're looking at.
Yes, sir.
And you certainly didn't look like a lightweight here. You look way bigger.
You know, Palumbo, one thing I want to say, no man on the sport has done what I've done. I won Nationals in 1988, and I won the World Championships. It's never been done since.
That's crazy.
So if I'd be remembered for anything, it'd be that. I'm the only guy to ever do it.
Yeah. Now you didn't win the overall at the World Championships, did you?
There was weight classes.
Oh,
There's
they
no
didn't. Yeah,
overall.
that's right.
We won the team title.
Right.
Team the USA won the gold, and I won my division.
Now in 1990, you did a couple of pro shows. I think you placed top 10 at Houston and Pittsburgh.
No, fourth.
Oh, fourth.
Top 5 in a lot of those shows.
Wow.
I had a pretty successful career, and you know something? I was never at my best. Genetically, I was gifted, and I never really went all out with bodybuilding. I just did what I did because, remember, I was raised in a family, so I had to juggle a lot of stuff. So I never was able to get in what I wanted to get in, but I got away with it because of genetics.
Right. Well, yeah, but you can only compete it for a couple of years, 90, 93, 94, and then you disappeared. What happened after 1993 when you placed fourth at that Pittsburgh Pro? You would think that now you're just starting to kind of place against the top tier pros. Where did you go?
Do you want to hear the story?
Yeah, of course we want to hear the story.
It was a long, long story. It's going to seem bizarre, but I got approached by the feds about taking down some people. And I decided to let's go with it. And that's what I was doing for 3 or 4 years. I did that.
You were working with the feds?
Yes, sir.
Doing what? Taking down drug dealers?
You ever watch the movie Johnny Brasco?
Yeah.
Well, I'm that guy.
You were undercover?
Excuse me?
You were undercover like that?
Yes, sir.
Wow. Were you an agent or were you a private individual doing it?
I was paid, so I consider myself an agent.
Oh,
I got paid lots of money to do it.
Was that scary?
Exciting.
Where were you?
I like stuff. I like things that are risky.
Right. So what would you have to do? Like, were you involved with the drug lords or the mafia? Where were you infiltrating?
Pretty much the drug lords. Yeah. But this is long time ago.
Yeah,
You're talking about 20-something years ago.
That's crazy. And how many years did you do that for?
I did it for 5 years. I was real good. I even took down the mayor of the city.
Did you?
I was really, everything I do, I try to be my best at. You know what I mean?
Right.
If you're going to do it, you might as well go all out, right?
Right.
But the reason why I had to stop doing it, because the internet started getting big and videos started coming out and people can see who I was.
Oh, so you didn't want to get killed, obviously. Now,
so they said you're gonna have to let it go. We don't want to let you go. We're gonna have to let you go because of this.
Well,
that was long time ago. That's there's no more threats or anything like that.
But it's interesting because obviously you had to have been in very risky situations where you could have been killed.
Many a times.
I mean, you had a family. That had to be pretty. You were really rolling the dice essentially.
Mm-hmm. And remember, I was very successful too. I owned a chain of gyms. And that's the reason why I got approached, because a lot of these guys were coming to my fitness centers.
Oh.
And I got to know a lot of these guys coming in asking questions about them. They said, you know something? We want to hire you. We want to put you under our protection. We want you to work for us. Will you be willing to do that for us? Wow. I thought it over, and I said, why not?
Wow. Where was this? What state was this in?
Oh, wow. It was a number of... It was from New Jersey, New York, Pennsylvania, Florida. It was all over the place, man. Colombia, Puerto Rico, it was all over the place.
What was the name of your gyms?
30-something people or 40-something people got arrested.
Oof. What were the name of your gyms back then?
The name of my gyms back then was Beast Gym.
Okay. And where was the original one?
The original Beast Gym in Pensacola, New Jersey.
Okay. Are those still in existence, those gyms, or they changed hands?
I still own a Beast Gym today.
Oh, you do? I didn't know that.
Yes,
are you still in Jersey?
I don't. In Jersey right now, no, sir.
Oh, okay. Where do you live now?
I'm in Texas.
Oh, okay. Texas is good. You can do whatever you want in Texas. Now, you've been married. Is it true you've been married 36 years?
Last time I checked, brother.
And you have a 35-year-old kid, huh?
Yes, sir, and I have 7 grandchildren.
Oh, my God. So you're 55 years old. What makes you... well, you know what? Before I get back to asking you about, what makes you think you're going to make... because you're making the comeback this year. But before I get to that, you took off all that time from, 94. You didn't come back till 2002. What made you decide, hey, I got to get back on stage?
I just missed it. I felt like I needed to go back. I felt like I never reached my peak. Right. You know what I mean? I felt like I had something left. Mm-hmm. I feel like I needed to go back and prove it to myself. Either do it or not do it, but go all out and see what happens. Right.
I remember in 2003 you placed 6th at the Masters Nationals. A lot of guys were like, "Holy mackerel, Juan Marquez, where was he? He's back." And as quickly as you came back, you disappeared again.
That was the Olympia,
Yeah, I know. I said Masters Olympia.
Yeah, and I thought I should have placed higher, bro.
You were good. I remember that show. I was there. You were really good. What surprised me though is you kind of disappeared after that again. What happened? Why'd you took like another 4 or 5 years off?
I think I was just doing it back then just because I missed it. Now I want to come back because I want to prove to myself, hey man, this is all in. Like I said, I'm doing things I've never done before. Went back to the basics. I'm working with a trainer. I'm just putting everything into it, man. And you know something? I don't have a 55-year-old body, man. If you met me in person, people think I'm in my 20s, bro, and I'm not lying.
Well,
my skin's tight, everything, bro. I don't even look my age, so I don't know. You have to see it for yourself.
Well, you told me you
And
emailed
for somebody, my arms are over 20 inches. I have legs. I never stopped training. That's the difference between me and these guys.
Yeah.
These guys stopped working out. I've been training my whole life since 9. Never stopped training, so I kept muscle mass.
So do you think?
And I think it's just genetics too.
Yeah, there's definitely a genetic component. Do you think you'll do better than Levrone did?
What? Are you kidding me? I'm going to do way better than Levrone. I'm going to win some pro shows. You got to be kidding me, bro.
So you're predicting a win, not only just a comeback.
I'm predicting San Antonio will win.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So the San Antonio Pro is in August. In
yes, sir.
Right near
I'm
where you live.
I'm also thinking of doing. My trainer wants me to do the Lou Ferrigno Classic.
Okay, well that's at the end of the year. So this is in August though. So if you win this show, you'll go to the Olympia, which might make you one of the oldest guys ever to do that. You know?
I don't even. Is that a will it get me in?
If you win, it will.
Oh, now, we're winning, brother.
Here's the question.
Believe me, I'm putting everything out, bro. I'm gonna win.
Here's the question, because obviously being 5'3", I'm assuming, but I might be assuming wrong. Are you going to be doing the 212 division, or are you going to be doing the open?
No, I'm all in, brother. I've never competed in divisions like that, man. I'm old school. I either go all out or I don't do it.
Well,
those are for guys that think they can't compete against the bigger guys. I have the symmetry, the shape. Remember, I'm 5'3", but on stage I look like I'm 6 foot because I got a tall man symmetry on a short man frame. Yeah. If you notice my physique, it's not bunched up like a lot of those guys are.
Yeah.
They're blocky and all bunchy. My muscles are all long like a tall person's physique.
Right.
So that's what's the difference between me and the other guys.
Right, but you were telling me you were 225, just the other day when you weighed yourself. So I'm assuming you could easily make the 212 division probably cutoff if you wanted to. By the time you get on stage.
Of course.
But you don't want to. You want to do open.
No, sir.
Okay.
No, like I said, I want to compete against the. Remember, I'm going back to try to prove something to myself, and I guarantee you, if I don't get a win, I'm going to come close to it, brother. Because it's a lot of politics involved with the sport too. I'm being realistic, and sometimes they might not want to give it to somebody that's been away for so long and come back, even though I'll probably be the one that everybody's going to want to win because of my age and because of who I am. Sometimes you just don't get the ball. It doesn't roll your way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if that happens, we continue. We move on. I'm going to go to the Arnold Classic hopefully next year, bro. Get an invite.
Chris
I'm thinking big here, man.
Chris Aceto and I were talking about you on Heavy Muscle Radio this past Monday, and he said Juan Marquez was a prodigy. And he couldn't say enough good things about your physique. He saw you compete, in person, and I never saw you in person aside from when you did the Masters Nationals. But he said when back in the day, you were ahead of your time. So
well, I thank him for that. I remember he wanted to train me. I should have took him up on it.
Yeah, you should have. If we had to compare, the only person I could actually think comparing you to would be Lee Priest. Do you think you're better than Lee Priest, or do you think that...
I know I'm better than Lee Priest.
You are.
Lee Priest had a long torso, no back, no chest. Lee Priest was pretty much a guy with big arms and some quads. That's it.
Yeah. What short guys today impress you? How about, are you impressed by David Henry, Flex Lewis?
No, those guys are not complete. I mean, you just mentioned a guy that has no legs. Come on, brother.
What about Flex Lewis?
Someone to impress me, man, you got to go back to Danny Padilla. You know what I mean? The legends. You know what I mean?
Right.
Franco Colombo when he was at his best.
Yeah.
Some guy that I admire a lot and give a lot of credit is Frank Zane. Did a lot with a small man's physique, man. Because of Frank Zane, I think that's the reason why bodybuilding's still around, because he made it seem like anybody can do it. You know what I mean?
Right.
And he just had that overall look. He wasn't the biggest guy, but sometimes the biggest guy doesn't, you know what I mean? Sometimes it's not always the biggest guy. It's the best built guy. I wish it would go back to that.
Right. What about Flex Lewis?
Best symmetry, best shape, best everything. You know who I'm a Lee Labrada with more size. Yeah. I've always given Lee Labrada a lot of respect, man. This is a guy that took second in the Olympia, and I was there. I thought he should have beat Lee Haney that year. You know what I mean? Yeah. I was there. I saw it in person. Presentation-wise, physique-wise, everything. I think he had that show beat.
Yeah.
And he didn't win. But that's the way, bodybuilding is going to be judged a certain way. And that's what happened. But I gave him a lot of respect that night when I saw him. He was so professional. Posing routine was on time. Physique was on time. He wasn't the biggest guy, but he was the best guy on stage.
Yep. Yeah, you're right. What about how do you feel about the 212 Mr. Olympia Flex Lewis? I mean, because he's got good symmetry. What do you think about his physique?
He gets super hard. I know that.
Yeah.
He's a little bunchy, a little blocky, but the guy gets it conditioned, bro.
So he's impressive to you. Okay. Well,
yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. I believe he needs to stop playing around with those 212s and go in and start competing against the big guys and stop being so scared of not doing well. You're not going to know if you don't try, brother.
That's true, and he's young enough that he really could do it. I mean,
and his condition, it's up there, bro. I'm telling you, a lot of those guys in the open division are not as hard as that guy is. You know what I mean? That guy comes in sharp.
Yeah. Well, 55 years of age, making the comeback. What do you think about Flex Wheeler making his comeback? How do you think he'll do in that classic?
Who?
Flex Wheeler's making a comeback at the classic.
Flex Wheeler, man, I always gave him props, man. That's another guy. Beautiful symmetry. I mean, God, he was blessed. Let's just put it that way. I think he's going to do. What is he doing? Classic physique?
Yeah, he's doing classic physique.
Let's see if he can get. If he gets it all together, forget it. Those guys don't stand a chance.
All right, that's a great compliment coming from you. Now, if you had to make a prediction as far as what you might weigh on stage, any ideas?
My thing is not what I weigh on stage, it's how I look on stage.
Right.
I can weigh 250 pounds and look like crap. Or I can be 190, 195 and look like I weigh 250, brother.
Right.
And that's the key. That night I just got to look a lot larger than what I am. And that's going to be the key for me. Condition and just symmetry and just outshining the other guys. Outperforming them.
Yeah. Now,
and when it comes to posing and stuff like that, I'm really good at that kind of stuff too. And when it comes to, fashion and stuff, I'm up there with that too, brother. You never get old, yo. Forever Young Fitness, brother. We never get old. We just get better, right?
That's right. That's right. Oh my God, that's funny. We're watching some footage of you here when you were real young. You always had the good hairdo. You always had the good presentation on stage. You were very polished looking. You paid attention to all the details, your tan, all that stuff.
That's right.
Do you ever have any regrets where you say to yourself, hey, you know what? If I would have just given 100% when I was in my prime, I could have won the Arnold. I could have possibly been a top 3 Olympian. Do you ever regret not giving it all?
That's why I'm coming back.
Okay, so you do have some regrets.
I regret it. I feel like I could have been Mr. Olympia. I was willing to do all the things that everybody else was doing. Mm-hmm. I was never that guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If I put if I would have put everything I had into it, I believe I would have won the Olympia.
Wow. All right. That's a very bold statement, and I respect it, and I respect the comeback. And of course, I'm a 49-year-old guy. I'm rooting for you. I want to see you. I want to see you do some damage at that San Antonio Pro. We'll be watching you. You'll send me some progress photos over the next couple weeks so we can put them up on the site. Keep people excited about it. And I want to just thank you for coming here and giving us your story and opening up to us. And hopefully your predictions will come true.
Hey, brother, thank you, man. If there's anybody out there, sponsorships or anything like that, I'm open, brother. Let's do something.
How do people contact you?
I can through you, I guess. You have all my info.
Oh,
right?
so I'll be your agent. Okay. If anyone wants to
go through you.
Anyone wants to sponsor Juan Marquez, you contact Dave Palumbo at huge285@AOL.com. All right, Juan, thanks for calling in, and good luck in your training over the next couple weeks.
Thank you, brother. God bless.
All right, that's going to take us to the end of another episode of Live With, brought to you by Yamamoto Nutrition. I'm Dave Palumbo, and we'll see you next time.